Hello, I am D. Balanarsimha, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, GDC Ramanapet. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss methods for determination of the order of a reaction. There are generally there are 5 methods are there by which we can determine the order of a reaction. So these are first one is method of trial, that is the integration method. In this method, we determine the order of reaction by using the integrated rate equations. Okay, so with the help of trial and error. Okay, and method of trial and error, and second one is the graphical method. In derivation of rate equations, integrated rate equations also, we used this graphical method to calculate the rate constant of a reaction, and half-life method. So in the derivation of equation of half-life of first, second and third order and zero order reactions, we found out that there is a relationship between half-life and initial concentration of a reactant. So by that relationship we can calculate the order of a reaction. And Van-'t-Hoff's differential method. So Van-'t-Hoff's differential method is nothing but rate is directly proportional to concentration of a reactant. So R or dx by dt. Dx by dt is nothing but differential. So in this method we can also differentiation. Okay, in this method also we can calculate order of a reaction, that is n, and Ostwald isolation method. In this Ostwald isolation method, we isolate one reactant from among other reactants by taking larger amount of reactant. Okay, so we will discuss about all these things, but in this video I am going to discuss half-life method and Van-'t-Hoff differential method, and one or two examples for each of this method to understand it in a clear way. So I am starting with half-life method, or of change or fractional change method. It has already been shown that time required to complete a definite fraction of the reaction is directly proportional to initial concentration for zero order reactions, and independent of initial concentration for first order reactions, and inversely proportional to the initial concentration of second order reactions, and inversely proportional to the square of initial concentration of third order reactions. So in general we can say that for nth order, T of is inversely proportional to 1 by a to the power of n minus 1, or T of is directly proportional to 1 by a to the power of n minus 1. So if A1 and A2 are the initial concentration in two different experiments, and T1 and T2 are the corresponding times for a definite fraction of the reaction to be completed, then A1 and A2 are the initial concentrations in two different experiments, and T1, T2 are the corresponding times for a definite fraction of reaction to be completed. Then the relation would be like this: T of 1 is inversely proportional to 1 by A1 to the power of n minus 1, and T of 2 is inversely proportional to 1 by A to the power of n minus 1. So dividing equation 1 by equation 2, we get this value, this equation. So from this equation we can calculate order of the reaction by taking logarithm on both sides. So here n is order of the reaction. Thus starting with two initial concentration and finding in each case the order of reaction can be calculated. So for first order reactions, alternatively, if T.5 or T of is the time of for off change and A is the initial concentration, then T of is independent for first order reactions, initial concentration of the first order reactions, and the second order is inversely proportional to initial concentration of the reactants, and whereas in case of third order it is inversely proportional to the square of the initial concentration of the reactants. So for nth order reaction like this. So we will discuss it in an elaborate manner, right? So right here, initial concentration of a reactant in different experiments is A1 and A2, right? And half life for here T is half life, okay? T1 with respect to this A1 concentration, and T2 is the time required to required to become the to bring the reactants to initial concentration of the reactants to their half, okay? That is half life. Half life of A2 reactants is T2, okay? So for first order reactions, for zero order reactions, there is a relationship that T of A by 2K. So that means T of is directly proportional to A for zero order reactions, right? For first order reactions, T of is equal to 0.693 by K. That means it is independent of initial concentration. So T of is independent of initial concentration. That means A to the power of 0. It is for first order reactions. For second order reactions, T of is equal to 1 by Ka. Here K is constant. So T of is inversely proportional to A. That is 1 by A. So it is for second order reactions. So for third order reactions, T of is equal to 3 by 2 K3 A square. So here 3, 2, K3 all are constants. So T of is inversely proportional to square of the initial concentration. It is for third order reactions. So if you observe all these things, so for third order, 3 means for third order reactions, here it is third means it is 2. For second order it is 2, whereas in case of A it is power is 1, its power is 1. Whereas in case of first order it is 0, it is 0. Whereas in case of zero order it is a to the power of 1. So with these equations, with this relationship, we can come to a conclusion that for nth order reaction, T of is inversely proportional to A to the power of n minus 1. Here n is the order of a reaction. So if you can check by substituting those values for zero order reaction, T of is inversely proportional to A to the power of 0 minus 1. That means T of 1 by A to the power of minus 1. That means A, T of is directly proportional to A. So for suppose for third order reaction, n is 3. So by substituting n is equal to 3 in this equation, we get A to the power of 3 minus 1. That is 1 by A square. So for simply what I am trying to say is T of for nth order, half life of a reaction is inversely proportional to A to the power of n minus 1. So right. So with this relationship, we can calculate order of a reaction. So for nth order reactions, T of is inversely proportional to A to the power of n minus 1. Okay. If A1 and A2 are initial concentration of a reactant in two different experiments, and T1 and T2 are their half-lives, then half-lives respectively. Then what will be the T1? T1 is inversely proportional to A1 to the power of n minus 1, and T2 is inversely proportional to A2 to the power of n minus 1. So it is equation 1 and equation 2. If we divide equation 1 by equation 2, then on left hand side, so our equation 2 by equation 1, then on left side T2 by T1, these are half lives, is equal to 1 by A2 to the power of n minus 1 by 1 by A1 to the power of n minus 1. So T2 by T1 is equal to A1 to the power of n minus 1 by A2 to the power of n minus 1 is equal to A1 by A2 to the power of n minus 1. It is equation 3. Taking logarithm on both sides of the equation 3, so we get log T2 by T1 is equal to log A1 by A2 to the power of n minus 1. Okay, right. N minus 1. So this is in power. So anything like what is that? Log a to the power of x is equal to x into log a. So in this way, the equation would be T2 by T1 is equal to n minus 1 to log a1 by a2. So I just move this log a1 by a2 to left side of the equation. Then we get n minus 1 is equal to log T2 by T1 by log a1 by a2. So I want order n. So just I am moving this one to this side, then its sign will become positive, and log T2 by T1 by log a1 by a2. So it is equation 4. From equation 4 we can calculate the order of a reaction with the help of half-lives of reactants. Okay, and this reaction can also be written as so this equation n is equal to n is equal to 1 plus log T2 by T1 can be written as log T2 minus log T1 by log A1 by A2 can be written as log A1 minus log A2. So with the help of this equation we can determine the order of a reaction by order of a reaction. It is half-life method. So in this half-life method we calculate order of a reaction by taking half-lives of reactants to reactants, and by substituting those values in this equation we calculate order of a reaction. So if you take one example, here I am taking one example. the half life of a chemical reaction at a particular concentration is 50 minutes. Okay, when the concentration is doubled, the half life becomes 100 times, that means doubled. So find out the order of a reaction. So initial concentration of the reaction 50 minutes. The half life of a chemical reaction at a particular concentration is, when the concentration is doubled, okay, initial concentration is doubled, the half life also is doubled. That means T of is directly proportional to A for this reaction. So by this relationship we can say that it is zero order reaction. Why? Because in zero order reaction the half life of zero order reactions is directly proportional to initial concentration of the reactant. So on doubling the concentration, the value of TF becomes 2 times the original value, or TF is directly proportional to the initial concentration. Hence reaction is zero order reaction. Okay. So with the help of half life also we can say the order of a reaction. And another example, the half life period for the thermal decomposition of phosphine at 3 different pressures are given below. Pressure nothing but concentrations, here concentration. So pressure in Hg 707, its half life is 84, and at 79 it is 84, and 37.5 it is 83. If you observe this data, we can say that the half life is independent of the concentration of the reactants. So the half life is independent only for first order reactions. So for the first order reactions, half life is independent of initial concentration of the reactants. So from this we can say that since the half life periods are same irrespective of the concentration, initial concentration, so the reaction is of first order. So with the help of half life we are determining order of a reaction. And if we take another example, here in thermal decomposition of gaseous substance, the time taken for the decomposition of half of the reactants was 105 minutes. Okay, and when the initial pressure was 750 mm. Here pressure means initial concentration. So for A1 is here 750 mm. Okay, and T1 is 105 minutes. Here he is saying half of the reactants was 105 minutes, and whereas A2 is 250 and T2 is 950 minutes. So from the data, T1 is 105, P1 P1 is 750 mm, T2 is, that is half life, 950 minutes, and P2 is 250 mm. So for nth order reaction we have derived this equation for nth order reaction, for concentrations A2 by A1, for pressures P2 by P1. So right, I am just substituting those values in this equation. Okay, so here T1 is 105 minutes, so 105 minutes, T2 is 950 minutes, and P1 is 750 minutes, and P2 is 250 minutes. So just I am taking logarithm of this equation on both sides. So logarithm, and this n minus 1 come to this place, and to calculate n minus 1 I am moving this to left side of the equation. Okay, right, and the values, okay, are like this, and just solving, okay, we get the value of this value is 2. So n minus 1 is equal to, just n is equal to 2 plus 1, so it is third order reaction. So the thermal decomposition of a gaseous substance, the time taken for the decomposition of the half of the reactant was 105 minutes when the initial pressure was 750 mm and 950 minutes when the initial pressure was 250 mm. The order is 3. The order is 3 for the reaction. How could we calculate this order? With the help of the relationship between half-life and initial concentration of the reactants. This is about half-life method. Next method I am going to discuss is Van 't Hoff's differential method. Okay, we use differential equations here. Nothing but rate is nothing but dx by dt. Okay, there is a relationship between rate and initial concentration of the reactant. So if the rate is directly proportional to one concentration term, it is called first order. If it is independent of one concentration term, it is zero order. If it is directly proportional to the two concentration terms, it is called as second order reaction. Third order, for if it is 3, it is third order reaction. So for nth order, the equation should be like this: dx by dt is equal to k into a minus x to the power of n. Okay, for first order reactions, dx by dt, that is rate, r, is equal to dx by dt is equal to k into a minus x to the power of n. For second order reactions, it is 2. For third order reactions, so then we can write for nth order reactions. Okay, here a minus x is concentration, so a minus x can be written as c. Okay, c, right? So if you write like this, in place of a minus x I am writing c, then the equation would be like this: d minus dc by dt is equal to k c to the power of n. Okay, right. Next, for two different concentration terms, that is C1 and C2 of the reactants, we have minus dC1 by dt is equal to kC to the power of C1 to the power of n. For C2 concentration, minus dC2 by dt is equal to kC2 to the power of C2 to the power of n. So taking logs on both sides of these equations, we get log minus dC1 by dt is equal to log k plus n log C1, and log minus dC by 2 by dt is equal to log k plus n log C2. So subtracting equation 5 from 4, we get on left side, on right side, okay, log k and log k get cancelled, and we get this value from right side of the equation, and this is from left side of the both equations. So by simplifying it, okay, I just move to the right side of the equation, so we get this equation. From this equation, we can calculate or determine order of a reaction with the help of differential method, Van 't Hoff's differential method. So we discuss it in elaborate manner, right? Just wait. So Van 't Hoff differential method, we are discussing Van 't Hoff's differential method. Rate of the reaction dx by dt directly proportional to c to the power of 1 for first order reactions, that is r, rate is equal to dx by dt. Okay, r is equal to dx by dt is directly proportional to c to the power of 2 for second order reactions. Rate of the reaction is equal to dx by dt is directly proportional to c to the power of 3 for third order reaction. So for nth order reaction, rate of the rate is directly proportional to C to the power of n. Okay, C to the power of n. So we can write this nth order R is directly proportional to C to the power of n. Equation 1. Okay. For reactants of concentration C1, the rate of the reaction is R1. For C2 reactants, concentration of a reactant which is C2, the rate of the reaction is R2. Let us assume like this. Then the equation 1 would be, from equation 1 we can write that R1 is directly proportional to C1 to the power of n. It is equation 2. R2 is directly proportional to C2 to the power of n. It is equation 3. Okay. So by dividing equation 3 by equation 2, we get R2 by R1 is equal to C2 by C1 to the power of n. Okay, right? Then it is equation 4. I am taking a logarithm of equation 4. So then we get R2 by R1 is equal to log C2 by C1 to the power of n. Anything to the power of n in logarithm, it becomes like this. So it comes to this place. So log R2 by R1 is equal to n log C2 by C1. So I want this n value. Then just I move this log C2 by C1 to left side of this equation. Then n is equal to log R2 by R1, log of R2 by R1 by log of C2 by C1. So even I can write this equation like this. Log R2 by R1 is equal to log R2 minus log R1 by log C2 minus log C1. Okay, just wait. Log R2 minus log R1 by log C2 minus log C1. From this equation, in Ostwald isolation method, we can calculate order of a reaction. Okay, from this equation, log n is equal to log R2 minus log R1 by log C2 minus log C1. Here R is dx by dt. Here R is dx by dt, which is differential equation. So it is want of differential method. So if you take this example, right, we solve this example. The rate of reaction at two differentials, different concentrations, 0.15 molarity and 0.05 molarity are, the rates are like this. At 0.15 molarity of reaction concentration is the rate of the reaction is 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 3 molarity per minute. Okay, and 0.0 for 0.5 minutes, the rate is like this. So calculate the order of the reaction. So by looking at the data, we can say that it is suitable for the equation which we derived in want of differential method. Okay, okay, want of differential method. So just from the data in the C1 is 0.15 molarity and C2 is 0.05 molarity and R1 is 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 3 molarity per minute and R2 is 0.3 into 10 to the power minus 3 minute molarity per minute. So just simply putting all these values in this equation, okay, we get the order of the reaction is 2. The value of order of a reaction, that is 2. So with the help of this equation, that is Van 't Hoff's differential method, we can calculate or determine order of a reaction in this way. So in this video lecture, I have tried to explain methods by which we can determine the order of a reaction. In this video lecture, I tried to explain half-life method, and in half-life method, T of is inversely proportional to, for nth order reaction, n minus 1, and Van 't Hoff differential method, Van 't Hoff's differential method, rate of the reaction dx by dt is directly proportional to c to the power of n, right? From these relationships, we can calculate the order of a reaction. Thank you. In the upcoming video lecture, I will discuss remaining 3 methods by which we can determine the order of reaction. Thank you once again.